Hey everyone, it's Lexi and today I'll be doing a review of The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah, and I'm sure if you've been watching my videos for a while you know this is like my all-time favorite book, best book I've ever read. So I thought I thought it would be a good idea to do kind of a review. So for the people who don't know much about this book, then you kind of get a gist of it because I talk so much about this book. So yeah, this book is a historical fiction World War II novel, and it kind of, what I liked about this book is that it tells like the women's perspective of the war. So the two main characters are sisters who live in Nazi-occupied France. So Isabel is the youngest of the sisters, and she's very ambitious, and she wants to do so much more with her life. She wants to fall in love, and then this war kind of like the Nazis kind of take over, and she kind of gets thrown out of the city, and she ends up having to move with her sister, who lives out in the country. And so when she's kind of there, she kind of falls in love with this guy along the way. So Vianne, who is the older of the sisters, is a mother, and her husband gets sent off to war, and while her sister is living with her, a Nazi officer gets stationed at her house, and she has to deal with him kind of being there. And her sister Isabel ends up joining the resistance, and she quickly becomes kind of known as the Nightingale, who was someone who would smuggle Allied fighter pilots back into Spain. So as like this is kind of happening, where the sisters kind of helping with the resistance, like there's a Nazi official there, and I really liked it because Vienna, on the other hand, is kind of having to deal with all this, and Isabel ends up leaving, and she has to protect her kids, and with all of like the hatred going around, and her best friend is Jewish, so she has to kind of deal with that, and having to ration the food, and kind of like living off of nothing, and just kind of having to deal with that. So this was very heartbreaking to read. I really enjoyed it though, because not a lot of books focus on the female perspective. Like I know Codename Verity and Rose Under Fire do that, but I feel like this is kind of like the ultimate book because it does talk about the sacrifices that women made and kind of the things that did actually take place. They're not really like, these are fictional characters, but they did actually happen. I really like that because they're almost like taboo, like some of the stuff that does happen, because there is like assault and all of that. So it was just really heartbreaking to see because that actually was like a dilemma in here. And like I know this was just an amazing book. I feel like Kristin Hannah did a good job. Like obviously this was very well researched, and I really like that. You grow attached to all the characters in here, and I really like it because you do kind of see kind of the German perspective of it, because she does do a good job of humanizing the Nazi officer who gets kind of stationed at Vianne's house, and I really like that. I think it's important to show kind of how like kind of the human perspective, like humanizing these, seeing from these people's point of view, because I think you just get a better understanding of everything overall. I highly recommend that you check this one out. I got this for my cousin and my friend for Christmas, and they just love it. It was probably the best book that I've ever read of last year, and if not ever. It basically has like a 5.0 review on Goodreads and Amazon. If you haven't already, then please check this out. I know this review cannot do it justice, but it was just an amazing book. Like it's one that will honestly live with me forever. And like you need to read, even if you don't like historical fiction. I feel like because it does have kind of like contemporary, like Kristin Hannah is like contemporary author, so she does kind of have those elements to it as well, where you get very attached to the characters and you can relatable, and I really like that as well. And I love kind of the ending of it is complete. Oh, I did not see it coming at all. And I think that's really good. It's one that keeps you on your toes the whole time. Like I read through this in a matter of days, and it's well over 400 pages. So if you haven't already, please, please, please pick this up. Let me know what you like. I'm really curious to hear what if you've read this, like what you thought, or if you're gonna read it. Yeah, so that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up and let me know like what your thoughts and opinions were on this book, or if you plan on reading it. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye guys.